Welcome back to the Big Fish Contracting Podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Eric, and this is Tanya Welton.
Good morning.
She is another host who you are used to hearing, seeing.
I'm back.
The lovely Tanya Welton. Oh, yeah, you did miss a recording.
I did miss a recording.
Yeah, it was the remote recording.
Yeah, the off-site recording.
With the loot keys.
It was a great episode. Tune in if you haven't.
Yeah, just one of our lovely customers. It was pretty powerful. I really found it enjoyable because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you know, the people.
Right? And to be able to share experiences and share lives together in the context of what we do, construction. That's just what we're about every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put it into words.
They did, as well as producing a high quality remodel. The place it's beautiful.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
A lot of good stuff there. So we have a topic brought to us today by Amber. Today's topic is brought to you by Amber.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Amber. Okay.
So the topic is what we've changed our minds about. And I want to just broaden that and just say change.
How we're changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some different topics like leadership, business, homeowners, growth, life. Just a broad array of things to talk about. But I think it's a lovely topic, right? To talk about leadership.
Yeah, it is a great topic.
So one of the questions, when I think back to the early days of Big Fish, what's something you believe strongly about running a business that you've since changed your mind about? I like, as far as like who I am, or just the foundational principles of running a business, I don't think there's been a lot of change over the years for me there certainly there are some things that I've changed my mind about, but I feel like fundamentally I haven't changed a whole lot. It might be a better question for somebody else who's watched me, right? Because we're so sometimes we're so subjective when it comes to our. Well, you can't really see
the change in you because it just happens little by little.
Yeah, and I look back at the 25-year-old, 30-year-old me. Now, for most of that time, a lot of that time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I grew up. Mm-hmm. So, I was heavily involved in Christian ministries and youth leadership and development, and so I was kind of simultaneously working in construction, had Big Fish Contracting as a way of providing for my family, but at the same time was tracking for a life in ministry. So, when you think of what a pastor should be like, I mean, that would be kind of how I ran my business too. I mean, I had a lot of young men who worked alongside me, that we did life together, and I was mentoring in life, mentoring in business, but we worked together every day. Mm-hmm. And these are people Dan and AJ and Steven, some of them still work here. Mm-hmm. But it was, but as far as the way we, treated customers, I mean, I just always wanted to love God and love others. I remember back in the day, like how that actually looked a lot is you'd have to this is a weird example, but like it's kind of like a no-brainer. But so I was in Home Depot one time and I was checking out. I had a whole bunch of roofing stuff and plywood and felt and underlayments and starters, and anyways, I checked out, loaded it all up in the truck, got to the job, was just thinking about it, looked at the receipt, realized they didn't charge me for the ice and water shield, which was on the bottom of the cart. And I went back to Home Depot and paid for it. And I just remember, like, at the time, I was like, oh, I could, like, $300. That was just a lot of money, you know? But it was like, no, I can't do that, you know? And so it was like, those are the little decisions, though. Like, you think, oh, it's so simple. Or like, but at the time, it was no, I'm going to go back.
Conscious choice.
And I'm going to pay.
Good and, yeah.
Yeah. And then those, like, little things like that are like the building blocks of kind of where we are today. And those things haven't changed. Like, just being honest, you know, and, you know, not, you know, paying taxes and stuff, and just like what do we owe, you know, not trying to play games with the IRS, you know, so those are these fundamental things that I think that just have stayed the same for all these years. Now it's much easier because I have such a large kind of basket of things to remember that it's just, now when Home Depot doesn't charge me for the ice and water shield, it's a no-brainer. Like, no, you go back and you pay because that's just what you do. But a life of that kind of, like, you just have a lot of courage to just keep on doing it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, in the last 6 years, I've seen you, you know, meet so many new people and things, and you treat everyone the exact same. You know, it's really refreshing, and the company's been built with that philosophy of humanness and connection, and the crews and the homeowners, you know, so it just really goes back to your ministry training, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of just great people in my life that taught me, first of all, that poured into me and taught me how to be a solid person, you know, and, you know, again, my understanding of the Bible and the love of God is it's poured out through Christ and all that, and just really, so a lot of my 20s and 30s was more focused on just self growth and trying to be a man and what that looks like, and then it plays out then into leadership and into work and stuff like that. So, you know, I've learned a lot about, I guess where I've changed a lot, or my idea is, and you've been a part of this, is like hiring and people and like work, you know, how you just, let me think of what I'm saying. Like people, when we hire a new person, like I would say, well, let me ask you, like, how do you think we've changed in the last 5 years of hiring people? What have we learned?
Oh, I think a first impression, like, you might not always match who someone is. So I think we've taken time to really try to know who someone really is, because then that develops a longer standing terms of employment, so to speak. Because I think people interview well. I think people really know how to interview, and then you don't really know what you have until they're in doing the tasks or the job that they've been hired for. So I think that's changed quite a bit, because I think it's like treating people, like giving people the honest, you know, chance, but then kind of constantly looking at who they are as people as they continue to build their relationship in the company as well.
Yeah, agree. I like skill set and has much less has the value of that has been lowered over the years. Like if somebody is a great carpenter or a great sider or a great administrative person, and they have a resume to back that up, that to me personally has over the years the diminished value versus their character. who they are. Because what I've learned over the years is if you're not the right person, it doesn't matter what your skill set is.
Yeah, and I think it gets to be a little bit tricky over here because of the culture within the company. So, it's not necessarily like a clock in. I mean, it is a clock in and clock out. Nobody's really working 24/7.
Right.
But
except for you.
I do sleep sometimes. I sleep. But it is that idea of, I'll chat a lot and, amongst the team, and there's just always things to be done. And I feel like a lot of people in the company, it's just part of their life. I don't know that I've heard anybody say, "Oh, I'm going to work today," or "I got to work." It's just what we do and who we are,
It's like our people too. If something is going on in our life, it's brought to the table, from a conversational standpoint. It's like, these are the people that I do life with every single day.
Correct.
I was just thinking about when I was younger, it was so much easier to hire people you didn't know too as well, because I was working with them shoulder and next to each other for years, and so alongside. And so, I have been, I don't want to say it without sound braggadocious, but I'm pretty good at training people. I've taught a lot of people, to do a lot of things. And I think of myself as a pretty good teacher. Okay. Well, but now if I'm not working there, alongside people, it's much harder.
Right. Then you also, people are trying to train the people.
Exactly.
And it's getting removed.
And something that I was naturally good at doesn't mean that the person that I've trained to do this job is now going to naturally train people. Yeah. Correct. So that has been a challenge as we've grown, is just being able to continue to bring in and train and equip the new generation or new people.
Correct. Because it's tricky, because you might be very skilled at something, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are a teacher of that.
Correct.
You might just not be a teacher at all, and you just might be really good at something.
Yes.
And just like not everybody can be a leader.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or a teacher. It doesn't even mean you can't be a leader necessarily of but teaching is a specific skill. But so it's just, that's been a challenge, and that's why it's more important, I think, now to find people with the right character traits and more than skill.
Correct. Because you can learn anything at any point. You can, if you're open to learning, I feel like
possibly. Well, there is some God-given talent. Some people.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be out there with a hammer.
Right, because you might hit those fingers.
My long hands are going to get in the way.
Just in the way. They're all right.
Watch out! Right. You got to move your thumb out.
And there's nothing you can do about that. You just have big, long fingers. I mean,
so I'm not going to go join the siding crew.
But that's okay, right?
However, if I really wanted to be a sider and swing the hammer, I'd figure it out.
Maybe, but those fingers might need to just be shortened a little bit. But I'm just using it as an example.
Well, just an example.
Because what we learn, and that's part of leadership and people development, is really finding out who you are. And that is why, for me personally, I spent the majority or just a large portion of my life finding out who I am and how I'm hardwired. And I still am very, very intentional about who I am and how I'm hardwired by God, so I can best accomplish ultimately what is his purpose, but our purpose is here. And I think from a people development standpoint, that's what we're trying to do at Big Fish. Really find out, like we have a person that was hired for this role, and that's what they want to do, but it turns out that they might not be that gifted in that role.
And there might be a
but
better
that
fit.
doesn't mean that there isn't a fit here, or even if there's not a fit here, there's a fit somewhere in life for you.
Yeah.
And go find that. We don't want to be jamming square pegs into round holes our whole life.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
And I think just over time, being in business for so long and dealing with so many different people and types of personalities, you gain wisdom on how you operate a company or how you are, But
yeah, and like learning, it's kind of like raising kids. They're all different, right? So how you parent one child, you don't parent the same. Me personally, I don't parent my kids the same.
Right.
Because they're different people.
But foundationally,
yes, the core values
those are all
there.
the same, right?
Right. But how you approach, how you
agree.
interact. And I think that we take that approach with the employees as well. I mean, you have to handle them differently.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, because people are different than they used to be. When we were we were talking about this when I was younger. When I was younger and started in construction, I did have a job or two before starting my own thing, but my boss didn't care how I felt at all. If I would have even told, I'm feeling, it wouldn't have even got out my mouth.
Eric, go back.
Right. He would have maybe thrown a hammer at me, but that was normal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was right or we haven't, but right now, the generations of today are much more sensitive. They're much more community means something to people now. When I was younger in work, community was like it was a job. You go to work. That's it, but now that means a lot to people. So
they want to be part of something. They want to feel appreciated. Yes. All of that.
So that's how we've changed.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I was younger, I was still always intentional and stuff but I see the value not because this is what people want. I've learned that this is what we all want. We want this community. We want this sense of belonging. We want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. That's it. This is real easy because I can attach this to God and all the things I've learned in the Bible, but on a little thing, I can attach it to big fish contracting. These same principles are true, and that's something that I've learned over time, and I've seen the value in it because I've attracted some real all-stars like you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To do it together, and it's really sweet. It's amazing.
Yeah,
that's something I didn't know when I was in my 30s, 40s.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be the biggest change, maybe.
And we're grinding too, just trying when my kids were little or younger, and and you're just a dad and a husband, and you got all the perceived pressures or responsibilities of raising children, and then raising them to be good humans, and then college and the expenses and all that kind of stuff. Part of me was just busy trying to
survive
provide, make money and provide. As we've gotten older now, we're in a different season. We're able to, as a company, it's not really about just the grind and making a dollar and like it had to be before, because my kids needed to eat and they needed to go to volleyball and all the things that we pay, right?
Yeah.
Now we're beyond that, and our company has done well enough where we can be more purposeful without that kind of grind mentality. Now it's more purposeful. The exchange money and job and all that and what we do and it's a good season.
Yeah. I think the biggest change for me in the last few years is just that trust of, you're going to be provided for if you put the work in. You know, like you just, you know, you do what needs to be done and the rest will follow. Like that's kind of, I've adopted that in the last few years and it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What role has humility played in your growth over the years? I mean, I feel like it's foundational. Like I'm a very confident person. I love me some me.
No one
right?
loves Eric more than Eric.
I've been saying that to my kids for years. And to shout out to Raul Owens, you know, he said, I love me some me. But there is something true there. Like but I learned that from God, you know, like God loves him some me, you know, and I believe it. And so if he loves him some me, I'm going to love me some me.
And then you love other people.
And
and have that space to pour into other people.
But where humility comes into it is foundational because I everything that I have, I was given. Like I know that like you could map out or I could write a narrative and talk about how hard I've worked and all that's true. I have worked hard. I have been very intentional. Years ago, we read this book 20 years ago called The Purpose-Driven Life. That was I wanted to live a purpose-driven life, whether it was here or whatever context it was. Purposeful with my marriage, purposeful with my children, purposeful with my relationships, and so I've lived But when humility comes in because all that I have, I was given. I believe that. And I don't really think I'm anything special other than through the lens of God. That's where and that's humility. That's where the humility comes in. If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for Christ, it's like I don't know where I would be. And so I don't feel like I can take credit for a whole lot. Like I was a part of it. I would recommend, you know, this is what it looks like. Yeah. But like me in the mirror, you know, it's like I know. It's like I had a rich dad who funded the whole thing, which I didn't. But you know, like when I talk about God and heaven, I just had this God who's just like filthy rich and just at every turn provided for me and made it quite easy. But the funny thing is how it actually looks can be hard, like returning ice and water shield when you're broke.
Right.
And there's $300 there. Mm-hmm. Like, but you do it. Mm-hmm. And you realize, like, yeah, it's just the right thing to do. But it was all him. Like, he gave me the strength to and the courage to do the right thing. Because I have this filthy rich dad. And I'm not talking monetarily, although there is, you know, just like he's just going to have me back, my back mm-hmm. all the time. And but I'm getting preachy now, but I'm so passionate about God. I really am. We don't get to talk about him. We don't talk about him a ton, but these types of things, it's hard not to.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just a lot of reflection in this episode. Holy cow.
I know. There is.
It's pretty profound.
I mean, some of the practical things I was thinking, like, so we have been using certain products, right? Yeah. For years. And those, I mean, I can say it right now. Those products are LP Smart Side. Those products are Certainteed roofs. Well, in the last 6 months we've changed our mind and we are going to start offering other products like GAF shingles, James Hardy fiber cement siding. 3 years ago,
you would have said no.
No way. I wasn't doing it. And there was reasons behind it are that I just feel like there's a certain customer that is what they want. And though I have opinions on different products and what I feel might be better, it's not to the point where I shouldn't be offering that product to a homeowner who wants it.
Right.
So we've changed.
That has been.
I mean, that's a big change for us.
Yeah.
You know, in all these years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Tanya, how have your personal life experiences influenced the way you navigate work, family, relationships? I mean, I think it all does, right?
It all does. I mean, I think it stems from growing up with an entrepreneur family.
Yes.
So I think that the work ethic in me definitely was taught at home from, little on. I just knew my dad was working all the time, right? And then my mom was part of the business. So I think that that's just ingrained, like who I am as a workaholic or worker, it's part of me. I don't really know how else to be. Like I think in today's society, probably people would think like, well, that girl just needs to slow down, or like she must, she's anxious all the time or whatever.
Do you ever feel that way?
I would say I get maybe a little bit overwhelmed in a sense, like, okay, I just maybe need to take a nap or something in a sense,
Yeah.
but I feel so fulfilled. I really feel fulfilled. And that feeling when I stop and slow down is not a good feeling. It's a lack of purpose. It's a waste of time.
So you
Yeah.
you obviously now are running a construction company 6.5, 7 years in, right?
Who would have thought?
Right. Think back to Tanya like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, before you met me or Big Fish.
Yeah.
Like what were you doing? What did your life look like? I know you have
that's
younger
yeah.
kids.
I mean, that's a good perspective too, because I mean, even when I was prior to Big Fish and then prior to even yoga teacher training, I was a dance teacher, but I would teach the maximum I could teach. I was there Monday to Friday and Saturday mornings, and I had babies, and so, but I was with the babies all day at home, and then I would go teach at night. And, but during the day, I was constantly, like, people would always be like, oh my gosh, your house is going to be so messy. There's going to be crap everywhere. You're not going to be able to keep up, and you're not going to want to go and do things. And like, I literally have maintained my household since the day before I had children, while I have children, while I've grown children, and then I would take them everywhere. I mean, we'd go to the park, we would go on hikes, we'd go to the zoo, we'd go, like I was just really busy with them a lot. So even my like stay at home season, I was constantly
You've always
doing
been
something.
Very active.
Yes, very active. And then, and then when I started to teach yoga, it's like, okay, well, how many classes can one teach a week? And at one point I was teaching 22 hot yoga classes a week, which is a lot. Yoga.
That's a lot of hot yoga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done one. Not one. But anyways, so that's an activity. You were very busy. Mm-hmm. How do you think you've changed? Because now you're still busy, right?
Correct.
Your days are full. What has changed on the inside of Tanya, and why?
Well,
like when you think of you back then, do you feel the same sense of purpose? Do you remember feeling the same sense of fulfillment, purpose,
I think
fullness? Like
I do think that I've always felt a sense of purpose, which is why I would try to teach as much as possible, or volunteer at the school or things like that. Like I think that part of me has never changed, but I think the people around me have acknowledged my purpose. I think that's been the real shift, is that, oh no, what I am doing it does matter, and now people notice that it's mattering. That has been 100% the most change.
Like who?
I like Eric.
No, not. Of course, like, I noticed, but your mom, family,
people. Yeah. I mean, and I think my husband's always been really supportive of everything I've done, and he knows me well enough that like I'm not going to just sit around.
Eat bonbons.
Yeah. So he's definitely, I mean, even before I started with you, he was someone to encourage, like, you have a good skill set. Like, you aren't just going to go bag groceries, which is fine. Anybody that bags groceries, like I would do that, And so I think
You would just do it really fast and probably pretty organized.
I
bet
feel
you
like
those
I
bags
probably
would be
would.
like solid.
Yeah, I think they'd be really good. I think I'd be
exactly.
a good grocery bagger.
You would be. There would be 4 checkouts running, and you would be bagging all of them.
All.
Exactly.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Oh, don't worry, guys. I got it. Just like scurrying about.
There's a commercial for Switch bags. Hi, Tanya. Tanya doing different roles. Tanya bagging groceries. Tanya fixing potholes on the freeway where there's like 8 construction workers usually, and this one's just you. They got you in the machine rolling. They got you shoveling, stamping. That's an idea for Switchback.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I've thought of myself as an efficient person. And again, it's not like I don't intentionally be like, oh, I'm going to get this done as fast as humanly possible. But just throughout the course of my life and different things I've done, that's just come out in who I am as a person. And I don't know how to change it. So this is.
Well, I don't know if you really would want to change it.
I don't think so.
Why? I don't know why you would. That'd be crazy. Like let's make you into something you're not.
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it is.
But I also think in maintaining so many different things and all that, I think I have appreciated how my own bandwidth has grown and the ability. Like, I'm just really grateful that I can do all the things. Like, I really am. I'm very, very grateful that I have the ability and the stamina, the mental capacity to just take it all on. And I think being in my role at Big Fish has really pushed me in that way, a lot of ways. You know, I mean, having people report to me or involved with hiring people and all of that has just expanded my growth so much in who I am.
Yeah, well, I've seen it, which is lovely. I wonder, have you thought about what it's going to look like when your kids are gone?
No.
You haven't?
Have not at all.
I don't need you to.
No, I know,
was just
but
curious because you do a lot right now for the kids.
Yeah.
You're constantly at wrestling or dance.
Mm-hmm. What happens when that
let's
disappears.
not talk about it because I'm pretty excited for Big Fish personally, but
Well, Ryan, I think Ryan said something the other day.
She might get more time, which would be amazing.
Even Ryan mentioned the other day or a couple months ago or something. It was like, what's it going to be like when we have nights? Like, what are we going to do at night?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. I mean, I am I've in the season of my life. I still really I've always wanted to be like just live this really intentional, purpose-driven life and so I'm an influencer like by nature. Like I actually don't. This is a type A thing. But I'm making it up as we go. So
okay, I like it.
So, but I'm not type A is what I think I'm coming to learn. Not that I've been studying this, but I think I'm type B. But that jives with me. Back in the day, we did like the Enneagrams, like a lot of personality tests, which, by the way, for anybody listening, doing those personality tests is so fun.
Oh yeah, it's good to learn.
But B, it's just really helpful and healthy, because this idea of pounding a square peg into a round hole, a lot of people find themselves in their own life.
Trying to do that
to themselves.
Yeah.
So I was a very high, pretty high on the charts for an influencer. Like I didn't need to be in control. I work better actually under a leader. In this case is God, which is nice, but but like an influencer. Like I wanna be an influence. I want my voice to be heard. I've always wanted my voice to be heard. So that was really important to me, and still is. So as we go and look into the next season, just continuing to build what we've what we've been doing for so long. Not as much there is economically and all that stuff, but but to be able to have that influence in the team. The larger Big Fish Contracting is the more opportunity we have to pour into people and influence people and be a conduit for growth and change in their lives, to really mentor young men and women. That's what gets me really passionate, and we can do it in this sphere. But then I balance also being able to enjoy time with Lindsay, who isn't geared like me. She is an influencer and has a heart for people, but she just won't do it as much as I might,
Sure,
so
yeah.
because that's just kind of how I'm. So as I look forward to really try to carve out the time for Nor, my granddaughter, as she gets older, and Rome and my kids and stuff, and still making sure that I have that space, which I did for all those years when they were young, because you had to. Now, something that I'm learning and seeing still is that even though our kids are in their 20s, it's like they still need you. They still need your
I still
parents.
need my mom all the time.
That
never
and they don't
stops.
just need you for car insurance or anything like that. They need you. They need you to be in their lives still. So just making sure that it starts in the home, and that's something that I've always foundationally believed, that if you can't have a healthy business, in my opinion, without a healthy home. There may be people that argue with me about that, and I wouldn't write a book about it, but just for me personally, it starts in the home. It starts with Lindsay and I, and so just that's in the next season, as I just remembering to just continue to pour into that foundation, and then whatever's left is what we're doing out here, which there's plenty left
There's a lot.
in the right?
Yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, it's exciting.
it's good stuff. I don't know who's listening, but if you are,
Oh my gosh, if you've made it this far,
if you
wow,
are-
kudos to you.
yeah, really,
Thank you.
That's that humility thing. Who gives a shit what you have to say?
I
That's
don't know.
Nobody.
Maybe.
But there are people that do.
But if you really have listened to our podcast in the past, or maybe you're a new listener, we're 2 years strong in this podcasting.
Yeah, over 50 some episodes.
Proud of us.
We're still doing it.
We are. If
Yeah.
you have any ideas for topics you want to hear,
Oh, I'd love it.
I would love it too. If you want to be on the podcast,
You know what's interesting is if you want to be on the podcast,
give us a shout.
Yeah, I don't know, if you think you have something interesting to say, it can't
People
be
are
much
very interesting. I love to hear
different
people's
than, right. I'll
stories.
just ask them questions.
Yeah.
I never listened to our podcast.
I listened to the first 3, and then
I listened to.
Well, I listened
to
to
the one that
Lukey's
Kelsey
last week, yeah.
and you and Am did, because I wasn't on it. So I wanted to hear that one. Yeah, I don't. Do you think we should? I feel
Should
like
we
I should
listen?
listen. Well,
Gosh, I
I
can't
feel like I
stand my
should listen
voice.
because it might help it get better. But then I feel like nobody's listening anyways. So
I think we're good.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, some reflection. Great topic. Thanks for bringing it up, Amber. This topic was brought to you by Amber.
Thank you, Amber.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks for
Thanks for
listening.
listening.
Bye.
Bye.